Hi, this is Tiffany from iHeartArtBlog.com for the Sizzix Design Team, and I'm here to show you a fun tutorial on how to create this Mother's Day card, which includes a photo pocket. It's got 3 parts, and I'm going to take you step by step, and then in the end, just show you how to create a quick envelope for you to throw this keepsake in before you put it in the mail. Let's begin. So here are the dies we're going to use. We're using this postage stamp frame die. This is a Movers and Shapers base die, so you can basically change out the picture or cutout or die cut that you want in the center. And that's what these dies do. These are the Movers and Shapers. We'll be using the camera die on its own, and when you use a Movers and Shapers die on its own, you need to use this base tray. And you pretty much just plop it down in the middle, just like that. And both of these require 2 standard cutting pads. And I use a Sizzix Vagabond. So let's begin. First, you want to die cut 2 of the postage stamp frames. So just put a cutting plate, your die, facing up, a piece of cardstock, and then another cutting plate, and run it through your machine. And do this 2 times. Once they're cut, they will look like this. They measure 5 by 4 inches, and then this inner circle, this inner piece right here, measures 4.5 by 3.5. And I'm just going to take some distress ink and run it across the edges. You can use your sponge dabber or your distress tool. I'm just going to do ink to paper. So to protect the backs of my card, I'm just going to add some post-it notes to the back. That way it doesn't get dirty with my work surface. First, we're going to start with the card front. This will be number 1 in the trifold. And I have some pattern paper that I'm just going to adhere. So now we are going to die cut our camera. You need your base tray, the camera movers and shapers, and then whatever pattern papers or cardstock that you prefer. So we're going to do it in cardstock and then in pattern paper. And again, you're going to use a cutting mat, underneath the tray, and on top to complete your sandwich. So here are my die cut camera parts, and I'm just going to adhere some of these parts onto this to decorate it. And I'm going to use this Scrapbook Adhesives by 3L Easy Dots Mini. And then I'm going to show you just a cool little trick. If you take one of their adhesive sheets and you use the non-stick side, it makes it really easy to apply adhesive to the detailed parts, because the dots only will go on the paper, but it will resist wherever you have a cutout, so you don't have a big mess like with some adhesives. For the little parts, such as this and this, the key to getting pattern paper adhered to those is to put your foam squares right there. So these are the 1/4 inch foam squares, and I'm going to put them where the little detail parts are. We're going to use Lawn Fawn Smitty's ABCs to stamp the sentiment, and you'll see why it's super easy to line up the letters. I'm going to put Hi Mom. So now I'm going to make the middle section, and this middle section is the photo pocket. So I have a 4 3/4 by 10 piece of cardstock, and I'm going to score it at the 5-inch mark. And then I'm going to score on one side. I'm going to score on the top 1/3 of an inch in on each side. Like that. So now I'm going to take some scissors and cut up the bottom where I scored all the way to that center score line. And then for the tabs, I'm going to meter each corner. So just snip off. The reason why I'm doing that is so that they don't poke out when I fold it in. So I'm going to adhere this pattern paper down here. You're going to need quite a bit of adhesive. Tricky part. I'm going to use this Perfect Layers ruler and an X-Acto knife, and I want to cut in the center. So once you're done, you'll have this frame. And what you're going to do is score it, fold it, and then add some adhesive to the bottom. Just a very tiny bit around the bottom, and then the sides to create a pocket. And I don't want to have the whole thing with adhesive, so I'm just going to use some paper to mask it off. So once you're done with that, just fold a mountain on the left and a valley on the right, And now we're going to do the third panel, which is our sentiment panel. And I have a fun little tip for you. In Photoshop Elements or Photoshop, you can print text on smaller sheets of pattern paper or cardstock by using a regular sheet of computer paper and running it through with no text or the text that you want in the middle, and then having it add these tick marks for you. It's an option in Photoshop Elements. And then you add your pattern paper for the second run through, and you know exactly where to position your paper. And just use some adhesive, semi-permanent, to adhere it to the paper before you run it through the second time. So I have this sentiment that I thought was really sweet for Mother's Day. It says, "I believe in love at first sight, because when I first opened my eyes, it was your face that I saw first." And I'm going to add a sentiment from Lawn Fawn's Happy Everything. I'm going to add a Happy Mother's Day right here at the bottom, just right across. And again, these stamps are super easy to line up. So now I'm going to put it all together. This is going to be the first panel, the middle panel, third, and you want to make sure your pocket is facing the front or facing up. It's okay if it faces the bottom, but the photo might fall out. And I'm going to use this Scrapbook Adhesives by 3L Crafty Power Tape. I love this stuff because you can also rip it, and it's got a really good hold. And then it peels off really easy, so the backing just peels off. And you're not hassling with the backing at all. So then you take this one, you can take off the Post-its, or some of them, and try to center it as best as possible. So maybe it's best to work looking down. And then on this side, this cardstock right here will be exposed somewhat. So you're going to do it flush, the postage edge flush with that center crease. And there you go. So here's my card with the photo. And now this kind of card deserves to be mailed super special. So I'm going to show you how to do a quick envelope. Just take one of these brown bags, some coordinating pattern paper, now you have a cute envelope for your card. Thanks for watching. Again, this was Tiffany from iHeartArtBlog.com for the Sizzix Design Team. Have a good day.